Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Well, guess what's back for another year? The air guns at the vineyards around this area have started to be used, although it's actually not as bad as it has been in previous years. I'm wondering if there's been a bit of a change in the philosophy or something, because there is nowhere near as many of them going off and they are not as loud. And it appears as though a lot of the vines have actually been covered with netting this year instead. So there isn't that constant banging and really loud, scary, jarring noises that have happened before. Part of it too is the vineyard that's directly across the road from us. There are no current fruit on the vines really close to us by the road. I think that last year they pulled them out and they've started to replant through that area. So there is no fruit to protect right there. So if they are using the guns, they are much further away. So although there is that familiar noise, it's nowhere near as bad as it has been the past few years. And the hot air balloons are also back. We're getting really cool, crisp, clear mornings, and that brings out the hot air balloons. We get them floating across our paddocks. All of the animals go a little bit crazy if they're down a little too low, but it's really lovely to see. They're really quite a spectacular sight early in the morning. So obviously for almost 2 years, we hardly saw any because of lockdowns. So it's sort of nice to have that back again. So we're now into autumn, which in the 6 seasons of the Yarra Valley is early winter. We're still getting really warm, humid afternoons. Like the sun still has quite a lot of bite to it. So you don't want to be outside in the afternoon. It is quite hot. But the mornings are really pleasant. We have those cool mornings. And once the sun goes down, it cools down reasonably quickly and they become really pleasant evenings as well. So the days are going to start to get cooler as well, but for the time being, it's still quite drying and hot during the day, and the paddocks are really quite dry now. There isn't a lot of green. Another busy week of dyeing this week, this time making sure to restock my DK supplies. So I did a few colours that have been in my rotation for quite a while. I did some chockberry. So it's a dark pink with brown through it. Strawberry. So a lighter pink with green. Pink and green just tend to really go well together. Now, you may think that these are the same color, but no, they are coming up different on the screen. So I've got teal, not green, and ocean. So this is like a blue, and this is on the green side. So yeah, these two. And then I also did gumball machine, which is one of my very earliest colors. And I love how these two, the teal and the gumball, go together. I actually made a brioche cow quite a while ago. So I wanted to get some DK in both of the colors together so that it was possible to buy them and knit them up as the cow. So gumball machine kind of pulls a little bit. You can see it's just sections of color. But when you break it up with a different color here, it really is quite effective. So once I'm done here, I'm going to reskein those, and they are already listed in the shop. So if you jump on over now, you should be able to find those colorways. I did also remember to pop in a little skein into the ones that I hadn't already done samples for. So gumball, ocean, and teal didn't have sample squares done. So I now have little bits that I will be knitting up to create my sample squares. I had grand plans this week to set up a video camera on a tripod and have it recording while I dyed all of my DK yarn, because there were quite a few different techniques that I was using with the colorways that I was doing, and I thought it would be really interesting to show you as I was dyeing. But I got distracted as I was doing my setup for each of the colors, and then I forgot to get the camera out. And it wasn't until I was halfway through the last colorway that I realized what I had done. So by that time, it was totally too late. So hopefully next time I do a big dye session, I do remember to do that, because I would like to just have that set up in the background and just have you'll be able to see truly what the behind the scenes rather than just little cut sections. So I thought that would be a good way to really show you what I get done here in the shed. Today I am wearing Adrift by Carol Feller that I finished in 2013. It is a lace weight cardigan, and it is really comfortable, and I've gotten so much use out of this. It's a really good sort of transitional seasonal kind of piece that can dress up a top or a dress and just add that little extra layer. So yeah, I really do love this. It's got sort of long bits at the front, open cardigan. I didn't bring my knitting over. What an idiot. I'm just going to have to put pictures in. So I knit a few more sample squares. I did a chockberry one and a mint sliced one. I had to pull from the cuffs that I showed you last week to complete those, but that's okay. I wanted to get the samples done more than have the little cuffs that I'd made. I've also now cast on a Just Peachy, which I've stalled on for a while. I think I kind of overdid the sample squares. I will kind of continue to do them, obviously, especially since I've just dyed up some more little samples that I need to get done. But I wanted to have a bit of a change of pace with my knitting this week. I finished the first of my Feels Like Home socks. I have not cast on the second one, which is strange for me. Normally straight away the next sock goes on, but for some reason this time I just didn't. So the first one is done, and I will cast on the second one this coming week, and it will be my sort of mindless project. And I'm so close to finishing my Mrs. Tumnus shawl. After last week showing it to you and not looking like I'd done a lot, the lace started to really, really fly. The pearl rose ended up just being pearl. There was no patterning on the way back. So I think that really quickened up the last 4 or 5 repeats of the lace pattern. And I was also decreasing stitches at that point as well. I went from being over 400 stitches to just over 200. So very quickly I was knitting on a lot less. Now I'm into the short row section. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't have it here, because I may have pulled it off the needles and that would have been an absolute tragedy. So if I get some pictures, it'll be a much safer situation. So I'm working on the short rows and I'm close to the end, but I'm also close to running out of yarn, which I'm a little concerned about. According to the yardage in the pattern and the yardage on the actual yarn itself, I should have had plenty, but it looks like I'm really going to struggle to finish. I'm going to just keep going. I really don't have a choice at this point. You keep doing short rows out to the very ends, and then you pick up a few stitches and then you knit a few rows and bind off. So I may end up having to find a different color to do the last little bit and the bind off. We'll see. It may surprise me. It's just hard to tell like how much it's actually going to eat up, because of doing the short rows. It's not like you're just going row by row. So yeah, I'll show you next week how it turned out. But I will be playing a little bit of yarn chicken this week. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.